It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang.
I encourage you to watch. We call it the Hate America rally that'll happen Saturday. Let's see who shows up for that. I bet you see pro-Hamas supporters. I bet you see Antifa types.
The Democrat Party of yesterday is headed to the ash heap of history. These guys are playing to the most radical, small, and violent base in the country. You'll see them on Saturday on the mall. They just do not love this country, and these guys are afraid of them. We call it the Hate America rally because you'll see the hate for America all over this thing when they show up. Yeah, I mean, that's the rumor, Maria. The rumor is that they can't end this shutdown beforehand because this small but very violent and vocal group is the only one that's happy about this.
They have talking points. Talking points where they are trying to call Chuck Schumer and Democratic leaders violent, trying to call Democrats violent. Tom Evers in a press conference called them terrorists. Here we are several weeks after the horrible violence, the tragedy committed against Charlie Kirk. To be calling peaceful protesters, people have already protested last year, peaceful protesters, they are proudly calling Americans that are going to go out and exercise their First Amendment rights, calling them the, quote, hate America crowd. You see what's happened in 2025. Mm-hmm. You now have a guy who said that he was ruling by the Bible, who actually won't swear in an elected leader because she will help Congress get to the bottom of the biggest sex trafficking ring in modern American history. If you disagree with Donald Trump, if you believe in congressional and judicial checks and balances.
Yo, I think whatever is in those Epstein files, it has to be important. Whatever, because to do all this, the government shut down, not swearing in the next person who could potentially sway the vote on releasing the Epstein files, it could get serious. Now, I mean, if you're against pedophilia, just put it in the chat. Release the Epstein files. Whether you're a Republican or Democrat, I think if we do have any politicians, entertainers, preachers, anybody, if you on that Epstein Island and you engaged in pedophilia, I think you should be exposed. I don't give a damn what party you from. Bill Clinton, P. Diddy, Russell Simmons, Donald Trump. I don't know if all these people are on there, but I'm just saying, you a bunch of nasty mother, and y'all need to be exposed. Now this is in Portland. Portland is supposed to be on fire right now.
We can agree to disagree.
Donald Trump said Portland was on fire. Doesn't look like it's on fire right now. Look like they all came together to stop the violence, the chaos and confusion that Donald Trump has been saying has been going on in Oregon. It turns out 40,000 people turned out for this No Kings protest, but it doesn't look like it's on fire. Now, I don't know what's going on with the crime. I'm not from Oregon. They probably took their time off to do this. And after the march, they're going right back to the crime. Portland is a hellhole, according to Republicans. That's downtown Dallas. If y'all don't know, it's downtown Dallas. This is Washington, D.C. This is L.A.
I like to remind people, in the Constitution, Article 1, Section 8, Clause 8, refers to promoting the progress of science and useful arts. In 1787, the people who crafted these documents realized the value of science for our health, our well-being, and especially our international competitiveness. So by ignoring the facts of science, that's extraordinary, that's unconstitutional, that's not in anyone's best interest. But cutting the budget, especially to NASA, is thoughtless. NASA is the best brand the United States has, recognized around the world as the best that the United States brings to civilization. There's going to be another Sputnik moment, as it's called, when China National Space Administration lands taikonauts on the moon in about 2030. There's going to be another Sputnik moment when we realize that China launched missions to Mars in 2028 and they will bring rock samples from Mars before the U.S. does. If you're happy with the China National Space Administration making all those discoveries first, I'm surprised. I think this protest at this size is going to get these guys and gals to change direction.
And what do you have as your message to the people today? What are you going to say on stage?
Well, the message is no thrones, no crown, no king. We're not running this country with a king. And so we're going to vote to throw the people out who want a king and replace them with people who want the rule of law.
Yeah, Republicans are not changing their stance on anything. Most of them don't have a backbone, and they are just being silent. They're the silent majority. Is that what silent majority means? That you have the majority of the House and the Senate and Congress overall, and you're silent to what the American people are asking for. That's what you call the silent majority? I don't know. Possibly so. Sounds about right. But shout out to Bill Nye, man. I grew up trying a lot of experiments from this guy. He was terrible for my youth because I've messed some stuff up.
We are here today because it is this city, it is this state that cannot, will not, and will never bend a knee to any regime that tells us that we do not belong.
This is New York City,
by the way. We have seen a young black man in Chicago thrown to the ground, put in handcuffs, while people called out, but he's a citizen. We have seen a woman outside of a school get thrown down and put in handcuffs. As she said, they don't have a warrant. They won't show me a warrant. They had to release her later. We are America, and we won't let you take her.
That's not loud enough. Today we say no kings. In Washington, D.C., there is a total breakdown of our democracy. Speaker Johnson has become a wholly owned subsidiary of Donald Trump. He has shut down the House of Representatives, where we do the work for the people. Tyranny and liberty cannot live in the same house. So today we say no kings.
This is what democracy looks like. Tell me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy want? Justice. When do we want it? Now. No kings, USA, where freedom reigns. No crowns, no kings.
Some high-profile Democrats are joining large crowds in several big cities, including Washington, D.C., for the No Kings anti-Trump rallies. Republicans are dismissing the demonstrations. House Speaker Mike Johnson calls them, quote, hate America rallies. Madison Scarpino is live in Atlanta from a rally site there. Hi, Madison.
Hey, Rich, we are about 2 hours into this Atlanta No Kings rally. And organizers say the goal is, quote, keeping a democracy intact.
Yo, why does the gingerbread have a sign?
And
oh my God. Oh yeah, if y'all can see it. Oh, let me go back a little.
Hey, Rich, we are about
The gingerbread man got a sign. Trump wears a thong. Bro, how can you take this stuff serious? You know, we're supposed to be out here really serious. And you have the gingerbread man holding a sign that says Trump wears a thong. Yo, this shit is crazy.
2 hours into this Atlanta No Kings rally. And organizers say the goal is, quote, keeping a democracy intact. I'll step out of the way to give our viewers a look at just how big this crowd is. People are shoulder to shoulder. They're waving signs. They're getting fired up as these guest speakers are talking. And organizers say they're expecting up to 10,000 people here today, which is checking out as of now. And this is just one of the more than 2,500 rallies planned nationwide today, like in Washington, D.C. Here's a live look at the protests there. And several high-profile Democrats are attending amid the government shutdown. That includes people like Senators Chuck Schumer, Bernie Sanders, and others. And overall, people attending these rallies say President Trump is acting more like a king. They believe he's abusing his power, specifically citing recent ICE arrests and National Guard troops in U.S. cities. But lawmakers on both sides of the aisle have very different opinions about these protests.
We refer to it by its more accurate description, the Hate America rally, okay? And I'm not sure how anybody can refute that.
What you'll see this weekend is what patriotism looks like. People showing up to express opposition to the extremism that Donald Trump has been unleashing on the American people and Donald Trump's failures.
We're going to be keeping an eye on all of the rallies going on across the country today, looking out for any potential clashes, as governors in both Texas and Virginia say that they have their state's National Guard ready in case that they're needed anywhere. Rich.
We'll see how it goes. Madison Scarpino live for us in the crowd. Madison, thank you. Some high-profile Democrats are joining large crowds in several big cities, including
Dear old Cancun crews, also wanted to say that we're all here, we're paid by George Soros. Does anyone know where we pick up our checks? I've got news for you, Ted Cruz. We all hate you for free. Dear old.
Oh yeah, because they saying that the protesters are being paid to be out there. You think the protesters are being paid to be out there? That's, you know, I don't know how much they would be getting paid, but every time there's a class action lawsuit and they say, oh, you could get paid up to $1,000, and then I received this virtual debit card that has about $3.50 on it. That's part of my cut of that, you know. Never mind. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
I will join the marchers to celebrate what makes this country so great. It is vital Americans from one end of the country to the other stand up for our basic freedoms, because Donald Trump is eroding our democracy day by day by day. So this weekend, I encourage Americans everywhere, Americans who love this country, who care about our democracy. I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican or independent, a liberal or a moderate or conservative. We The vast majority of Americans want to preserve this democracy, and the No Kings rally says that in a very strong way, where millions of Americans, millions will come together to say just that we don't want kings in America. I will join the marchers.
The crowd is for sure building here at Father Duffy Square in what is the second No Kings Day demonstration we are seeing across the country this year. You can take a look at those signs. Demonstrators are here with their flags, some even with their children. And the first No Kings Day demonstration in June was triggered by President Donald Trump's military parade. This time around, it's sparked by the prolonged government shutdown, along with the deployment of federal authorities towards immigration enforcement and at other demonstrations across the country. Some of these signs here we're seeing say America was built by immigrants. We don't bow to billionaires. Just a lot of frustration from demonstrators here and across the country calling the Trump administration authoritarian. And this is one of thousands of demonstrations being held across the country today.
We're now on 26th and 7th, and we have a producer who's more than 10 blocks behind us and says there is no end in sight in terms of how far this protest is going. We're trying right now to get an updated estimate. Originally, they thought about 200,000 people, but right now, best guesses are that they've far exceeded that. Just the turnout here in this city. They've been estimating more than 5 million people are going to take part in all the cities, big and small, that are taking part in this movement. Here in New York, number one concern is that the scenes that we're seeing play out in the city of Chicago right now, the aggressive immigration enforcement, the citizens, the teenagers who have been detained by federal agents in recent days, that's a scene that's going to come here very soon to New York. Already the administration has basically telegraphed this, the president threatening that if Zoran Mamdani, who's very likely to become mayor in a few weeks, does become the mayor of the city, that soon those kinds of images are coming here. Take a listen to a...
Yeah, New York got so many immigrants. Now, if you go to, I guess it's called Canal Street, there's like a line of people that be selling stuff. I know they ain't legal, but they not like Mexicans or anything, but they ain't American. But yeah, they coming to New York next. Believe me, ICE will be in New York.
Conversation that I had with a Vietnam veteran, 82 years old, named Fred Herrera, as he spells out what's at stake here, Ali.
This sign, when I saw young kids being dragged out, I've dealt with real soldiers, American soldiers, North Vietnamese soldiers. These are real soldiers. These are brave men. Soldiers fight other soldiers. Soldiers do not fight women and children. What ICE is doing is outrageous.
Hey, he hit that key note. Women, you got to throw in women and children to get everybody on your side.
They are a paramilitary force. That's why I'm using the term soldier.
What would your message be to someone who is maybe fearful of taking part in a protest, worried that this administration will crack down on them or their loved ones? What would you say to someone who's unsure of how to speak up right now?
What would I say? I have the answer on the other side.
Can you read this for me? Lift it up. Protest now.
Protest now or bow down later.
Those are your options?
Yes.
We're now on 20.
That's as American as motherhood, baseball, and apple pie. I support the right of every single American to participate in the rallies that are going to take place this week. And showing up to express dissent against an out-of-control administration. That's as American as motherhood, baseball, and apple pie. That's the First Amendment. And the notion that this unhinged White House spokesperson would suggest that that's hateful. That's not hateful. What's hateful is what happened on January 6th. That was a Hate America rally sponsored by Donald Trump and his sycophants who incited a violent mob to storm the Capitol. That's what hate looks like. What you'll see this weekend is what patriotism looks like. People showing up to express opposition to the extremism that Donald Trump has been unleashing on the American people, and Donald Trump's failures, the Republican failure to keep their core promise. That's
would anybody like to touch on that? Like, the January 6th rally, the peaceful protest of January 6th, the insurrection. There really wasn't an insurrection, but so many people were arrested. Even one person went as far as getting shot point blank by a White House security guard. Rest her soul, but she FAFO. And that was a violent. They was calling for the vice president's head. They were standing on Nancy Pelosi's desk. Although we haven't had any reports of arrest across the country in these No Kings rallies, this is a peaceful protest. This is what America's about. Whether you're Republican or Democrat, this is what it's about. This is exactly what it's about. Peaceful protest, and we can do that as Americans. You have that right. So whether you like it or not, you have that right. January 6th shouldn't have happened. The George Floyd riots and stuff like that shouldn't have happened. But there were peaceful protests all around. But then the looting and the shit, that shouldn't have happened. We just got to keep it funky. We got to all across the board. But today was peaceful as an American pie or baseball or whatever he said. Okay, so just to keep it clear, it's your right as an American to peacefully protest. So whether you like it or not, it happened.